began as a perfect trip to the video store.
Want me to fast forward to the gory part? Yeah.
Pick up a few scary movies. What could possibly go wrong? It was all great fun until the nightmare began. Now, you can't run. You can't hide. You cannot escape. Something sick is in the shadows, watching you from the shelves, lurking in the darkest corner, where the macabre holds sway. You will never escape. From the horror section.
I just mean that it looks like Clapton's gonna ask out Ione, which makes about as much sense as that stupid movie Torque.
Give me your iPod, salad eater.
Life sucks.
Forget about genocide, poverty, and political corruption. What could possibly be on my girl mind other than prom?
Who gave Riley the permission to have the hots for Clapton?
What does the future hold for Clapton Davis?
If you're gonna get your limbs ripped off by the school gorilla, find a more worthy charity than Ione.
Thank God that's not me.
Ione is an old soul trapped in a very painfully hot cheerleader body.
Captain Davis, you are more concept than reality.
Your classmate, Taylor Fisher, was murdered in her bedroom this morning.
I was just attacked.
Sure you were, honey.
Are you guys accusing me of something?
There's a killer in Grizzly Lake who is affiliated with people at my school. Detention is in the library. It goes from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's right through prom.
It can't be any of us. We're not anguished enough. Our generation has had no major struggles.
What about 9/11?
Afghanistan.
Katrina?
Heath Ledger. What? Too soon.
When you die, a surge of psychoactive compounds are produced, and as you trip through the tunnel of light fantastic, your memories come flooding back. I imagine when I die, the overhead music of Binge Movies will play, and scene after scene of Albert Pune movies will pass by my mind's eye. The last firing nerve ending in my fingertips will feel the phantom plastic of clamshell VHS cases made brittle from standing in the sun. Every overly long podcast conversation will come roaring back, playing all at once. My own laugh, sledgehammering open my body for my electrons to be released to the giant cathode in the sky. From phosphorus I was born, and to phosphorus I will return. I will die in a supernova of media references, post-ironic sarcasm, and self-assured brilliance. The closest I've come to my imagined death is the first 15 minutes of Detention. How to describe this? Scott Pilgrim versus your patience? Reddit Player One? Every single second is stuffed to the gills with gimmickry masquerading as style, and yet somehow that feels like the gag. You've heard about a hat on a hat. Well, this is a hat store on top of a hat store. There are so many individual choices that would be enough to drive a viewer crazy, but then those choices are drowned out by 500 more choices. As a rapidly decomposing millennial, I forgot that it used to be like this. The humor of Detention was the humor of the internet, TV. It was the zeitgeist. We had all been bathed in too much media, but at that moment, it was too much of the same media. Now we're bathed in even more media, but it's all defined by unique algorithms that predict our tastes so that none of us are ever watching the same thing at the same time. Everyone is a funny vine unto themselves, as it were, or maybe a TikTok. One of the major flaws of Detention is how it is a prisoner of the moment it was created. The referential humor is locked into a time as distant from us as the moon landing. Now to what works. Joseph Kahn is one of the last music video directors to direct music videos when those mattered. He has an incredible sense of visuals, and for a $10 million self-financed movie, Detention looks incredible, and once it gets past shoveling 100 pounds of outdated style into a 25-pound bag, it gets enjoyable. Don't get me wrong, you will need to calibrate your brain via time travel to enjoy any of it, but if you can manage to do so, there are some deft jokes in the mix. Now, you may have noticed I've yet to tell you what the movie is about. The film is a high school suicide slasher comedy with non sequitur jokes like the jock bully slowly turning into Jeff Goldblum's The Fly. The tone is less epic movie and more Heathers for Tumblr users, though I guess that's just Heathers. If that doesn't sound like something you'd enjoy, then wait all of 5 minutes because the movie will change. And if that doesn't sound like something you'd enjoy, well, you're going to hate this one. I didn't hate this one, and that puts me in the company of, I don't know, less than 50% of critics on Rotten Tomatoes. I didn't hate it because I think there is a point buried in all the post-ironic internet humor. The point is that millennial teens were the last generation raised in monoculture, and then one day, they woke up and it was dead. All that media scrambled our brains and left us more alone in a senseless world than before. Encyclopedic pop culture knowledge can't shield you from school shootings and the death of America as a superpower. That, I think, is the point. Gen X, of course, saw this all coming and reacted by slacking in sarcasm, but by the time millennials could drive, sarcasm was passé. Where do you go when even cynicism is played out? Another reason to like Detention, or at least make excuses for it, is that if corrected just a tad, it could have been Everything Everywhere All at Once 10 years earlier. There is a shared point of view and some shared tricks between the two, even if there's no shared successes. I can't be bothered disliking something so noisy and disappointing that still manages to win me over, even in the slightest. In essence, Detention is a time capsule. A frenzied mirror reflecting the bewildering transition from media-immersed past to fragmented present. It's not a smooth ride, but within its pandemonium and try-hard status lies a glimmer of introspection and perhaps a snapshot of a generation grappling with the fallout of a culture that wants to find them. I give Detention 3 out of 5 stars. This selection from the horror section was selected by Elite Patron Dan and ratified by the assistant managers over at bingemovies.patreon.com.